Hi everyone, Byron Martin here at Logi's. Today we're going to be talking about anthuriums, and particularly Anthurium Magnificum, which is one of those beautiful foliage anthuriums with the silver veining and the large green leaves. Now these are juvenile plants, or these are young plants that are grown from seed. Here's our mother specimen that's been in our greenhouses for at least the last 20 years, if not more. They're immense plants when they're mature. They're actually quite easy to grow. Most of the anthuriums that are in cultivation are easy, or some of them are actually indestructible. This wood doesn't quite fit into that category. It's a little bit more sensitive, but still a great plant for indoor growing in sunrooms. As most anthuriums, they're low light, so this is an understory plant that doesn't need direct sun. It can take diffusion. Generally though, if you were growing it in a home situation, you'd want to have it near a light source. It's not the best plant to put in the far corner of a room. Although it probably would survive there, it's not going to thrive for you. The other thing about anthuriums is they can take quite a bit of dryness. So they're plants that usually would go through a dry season in the jungles, and they tolerate that quite well. So neglectful watering occasionally is not a bad thing, and getting to watering, you always want to make sure that they're dried down some between waterings, and that is the surface of the soil here becomes light in color, and then give them a thorough drink. There really aren't too many problems with insects on these. Actually, most of the anthuriums are pretty immune to them, so it's of little trouble. There's no mite problems or aphids and such things as that. I'm sure that there can be in certain situations, but we really don't see it in culture in our greenhouses or with our customers. They also have a fairly strong root system, so diseases, which would be root rots, are really not too much of a problem as long as you are giving it that bit of dry period. One of the problems that we do see occasionally is we do have some leaf damage. They're very soft, and when they're young like this, you can damage them and you get little holes, and then those little holes turn into larger holes. And there also can be some fungi that get into them if the conditions are too cold. So this is really a plant that, you know, minimum 60, I'd say really minimum is 65 degrees. They don't like to be brought below that. That really makes them suffer. And you know, if you put them in a cold place, you can see how bad it can get. They can recover from it, but it's better to keep them on the warm side. As with most of the foliage plants that we grow, low light plants that we grow, it's really better not to fertilize them too much. I mean, 2 or 3 times a year under low light would be adequate for these. And you're going to see as you grow this that there are periods when it goes into heavy growth, and that's the time to begin feeding. And there's times when it kind of stops, and that's usually related to the amount of light the plant is getting. We're going to repot this plant because this is a small seedling that needs to go up in size. You can see here that the root system is pretty active, very healthy. So when we pot that, we're going to rub just a little bit of soil off of the bottom here so we can put it down, so I can actually pot it a little bit deeper, compensating for that rise. And every time that this plant gets bumped up into a larger pot, which is probably once a year, as it grows, you want to kind of down pot a little bit so it doesn't become tall and floppy as it ages. And then we want to give it a good drink, and it's ready to go back to the growing area that we put it in. Always water your plants thoroughly after potting. Thanks for watching, everybody. There's a little bit of information on Anthurium Magnificum, which is really one of the most beautiful foliage anthuriums in cultivation. If you'd like more information, visit us at logis.com.